In 2018, Wasp Barcode Technologies released a report entitled Small Business Report Accounting. In our view, the information contained in the report is invaluable for accounting practitioners in this country. Unfortunately, they pulled the report from their website recently. Luckily, we happen to save much of the data from the report and are able to present it here. I read from the introduction prepared by the company. Every year, small businesses are faced with challenges in taxes, accounting, and outsourcing financial services. Wasp Barcode Technologies surveyed 393 small business leaders to create a business accounting report to share the thoughts of small business owners. WASP's goal in conducting the survey was to continue to bring crucial data, such as the small business report, to small business owners so they can make more informed business decisions. This free report provides data to give a better understanding of the small business accounting landscape. It seems clear that Wasp Barcode prepared the report to help in their own marketing efforts. They developed technology to help small to mid-sized companies manage their inventories effectively. Presumably, they hope to understand their own market better. What kind of companies use their products? Most likely, this included manufacturers, warehousing and distribution concerns, and/or merchandisers that maintained inventories of taxable goods, hence the need for barcoding technology for inventory. While our smallest businesses are primarily service business, this would include NAICS Code 54, professional, scientific, and technical services. This is also the largest single North American industry classification in the U.S., comprising between 12.5% and 13% of all businesses. We'd also include in that group companies involved in building and construction, NAICS Code 23, that build to suit, primarily on contract. This group maintains inventory, but the characteristics of their work-in-process inventory are much different than those of manufacturing and merchandising concerns, and actually resemble more the kind of work-in-process inventory maintained by professional, scientific, and technical services businesses. So these two NAICS codes, i.e. professional services and construction, make up about 21% of all business establishments in North America. What's more, workers there are more highly paid than most in either of our two economies, in other words, the US and Canada. And they're highly represented within the small business sector of both of our economies. The WASP Barcode study looked at companies with between 11 and 100 employees throughout North America. They were presumably trying to gather business intelligence, or perhaps to make contact with decision makers that would be able to influence their companies to purchase barcode technology. That would be companies that maintain physical industry inventories of either merchandise or components for manufacturing, primarily. They would require a certain degree of sophistication in order to take advantage of inventory data. In other words, management accountants would be critical in making the decision to purchase their inventory technology. So it made sense for them to conduct the study for their own business intelligence purposes. But from our part, professional accountants would also be interested in the results, since the study looks at successful and growing businesses and identifies accounting resources used within a particular cohort of small businesses. So in this slide, I've broken down Canadian businesses for 2018 from data provided by Statistics Canada. But I had to interpolate a little using BC Stats aggregations for the number of employees by firm. In particular, I used BC Stats' more detailed breakdowns of businesses with between 1 and 49 employees. Essentially, I distributed the larger number of categories developed in BC, assuming that the distribution between these categories should remain relatively constant across Canada. In the previous slide, we looked at the breakdown of small businesses in Canada by size. And before that, we looked at the Wasp Barcode study. Well, that study was, we believe, very useful for accountants and for educators. It is more interested in larger small businesses, those with 11 or more employees. In addition, it considers companies with between 51 and 100 employees as an important part of the small business cohort. Certainly, those would be important customers for their particular technology. However, when it comes to the services used by companies included in the Wasp Barcode study, we'll see in the next slide that only 48% of companies that responded used audit services. That means that only 48% of about 8% of all businesses require audit services. It's pretty clear to us that most of those are larger than 50 employees and therefore not really small businesses as we would define them. It's for that reason that we pay very little attention to audit and assurance services in SBA courses. The importance of the WASP barcode study is that it gives good visibility into size as a factor in determining the way in which small businesses, particularly those with 11 to 50 employees, use external and internal accountants. Just as important, it receives feedback from the companies in the study in terms of the quality of their relationship with professional accountants. In particular, it provides insight into the following areas: the percent of companies that outsource particular accounting services and which services they do outsource, the importance of accountants in relation to other professionals from their perspective, their satisfaction with the accounting services they receive, their chief complaints about external accountants, the top accounting challenges facing their businesses, the highest full-time accounting position at their company, and the percent of companies with a CFO or a controller by company size. That means 11 to 25 cohort, the 26 to 50 cohort, and 51 and above. This webinar was designed for professional accountants in public practice and industry, as well as for educators. We decided to include it in an introductory course to help students put the curriculum in context with what will be expected of them as they begin their careers. The BAT program is an introductory program for accounting technicians and bookkeepers. The intent is to help students internalize the accounting algorithm so that it becomes second nature to them. We believe that accountants develop a better understanding of accounting when they work on the complete accounting cycle with small businesses. The best place to get this experience is in a small accounting firm. However, after earning their BAT certificate, students may wish to take further training in one of a variety of specialties. They may wish to become tax specialists, or study corporate finance, study management accounting and become a controller, or perhaps a fractional controller or CFO. In our view, though, specializing in audit restricts practitioners to working in large firms servicing larger companies that require audit services.